All right, let's jump right into this. Today we're unpacking a massive debate, something I like to call the Portuguese paradox. We're looking at two absolute titans of the modern game, right? Bruno Fernandes and Cristiano Ronaldo. For years now, fans, pundits, you name it, they've been arguing about this. Do these two footballing geniuses actually click when they're on the pitch together? Or does putting them in the same lineup create this tactical clash that actually holds their teams back? Well, in this explainer, we're going to tune out the usual social media noise. We're diving straight into the hard data, the tactical breakdown, and even some sports science to figure out what's really going on. So here's our game plan. We'll start with number 1, the Portuguese paradox, then move to 2, a tactical clash, hit 3, by the numbers, 4, the art of the assist, and wrap up with 5, the offensive network. Let's get to it. Section 1, the Portuguese paradox. Icons of Manchester and Portugal. You know, both of these guys carry just an unbelievable weight of expectation for two of the most demanding football institutions on earth, Manchester United and the Portuguese national team. And because of their shared history and just, undeniable individual brilliance, everybody expects them to automatically form this devastating, unstoppable partnership. And let's be real, we absolutely have seen instances of brilliant synergy between them. Think back to when Portugal's back was completely against the wall in that crucial World Cup qualifier against North Macedonia. Who linked up? Ronaldo fed Bruno for the opening goal. Or in the Premier League, remember them completely dismantling Spurs 3-0? That beautiful Bruno assist for a stunning Ronaldo volley. And against Brentford, both of them found the back of the net in a totally dominant win. These moments prove that for sure, the ceiling for this partnership is incredibly high. Moving on to Section 2, a tactical clash, the myth of congestion. So, despite those amazing highlight reel moments, there is a very loud, very persistent narrative out there insisting that they just don't work well together over the course of a long season. And this quote perfectly captures the mainstream criticism. Legendary striker turned pundit Thierry Henry literally didn't hold back in his analysis of a Portugal match. He directly accused Ronaldo of getting in Bruno Fernandes' way, saying, "The team needs to score, not you." Ouch. It's a brutal quote, but it really nails the popular theory that Ronaldo's massive gravitational pull on the game inherently stifles Bruno's freedom to create. Okay, so what exactly is the tactical problem people are pointing out? Well, analysts usually break down the post-Ronaldo era at United into a few key issues. It's like a domino effect. First, when you replace a blistering runner like Marcus Rashford with a more traditional target man, you instantly have less pace up front. Second, less pace naturally means much slower counterattacks. And third, and this is the big one, it results in a highly congested penalty box. Opposing center backs naturally swarm to Ronaldo, so with the box completely packed tight, playmakers like Bruno are forced into attempting these really risky, low-percentage passes into a total crowd, instead of just threading someone through into open space. Section 3. By the numbers. The data tells a different story. Now that tactical theory sounds super logical, right? But the data actually tells a completely different story. And I absolutely love it when hard stats completely flip the media script. When you stack their actual output up against each other, it reveals something fascinating. Let's compare Bruno's explosive first 50 games at Manchester United right next to Ronaldo's last 50 games for the club. The numbers are astonishingly close. Bruno notched 27 goals and 17 assists, which is a world-class return, no doubt. But Ronaldo, literally in the twilight of his career, hit 25 goals and 12 assists in his final 50 games. They are both just highly effective elite producers of end product. And that brings us to this massive milestone, 140. Let that number sink in. Bruno Fernandes recently tied Cristiano Ronaldo's incredible record of 140 Premier League goal involvements for Manchester United. And you want to know what's even more fascinating? Bruno actually reached this milestone in 226 appearances. That is 7 games faster than the 233 games it took a young Ronaldo to achieve the exact same feat. The math just simply does not support the idea that one player fundamentally ruins the other's effectiveness. Section 4. The art of the assist. Bruno's evolution into a creator. To really understand how their dynamic works, we have to look at how Bruno's game has adapted over time. He isn't just hunting for his own goals anymore. Under different tactical setups, especially under Michael Carrick, Bruno was basically instructed to stop getting stuck in the middle and instead float out into those right half spaces to become a pure provider. And wow, this tactical evolution has been incredibly successful. Bruno has transformed into such an elite creator that he's actively chasing down the history books. He's been nearing the all-time Premier League single-season assist record of 20, which is held by absolute legends like Thierry Henry and Kevin De Bruyne. He's even threatening the top European top 5 league record of 21, set by Lionel Messi and Thomas Muller. You don't reach those kinds of astronomical numbers if your striker is constantly just getting in your way.
Actually, let's just hear from Bruno himself on this. Directly countering that earlier criticism from Thierry Henry, Bruno explained, Cristiano makes small diagonals behind the defenders, so I would always play in behind the defenders. This is such a crucial insight. For an elite midfielder, having a striker making intelligent, predictable, diagonal runs into pockets of space is quite literally a dream scenario. Ronaldo's movement doesn't block Bruno at all. It acts as the exact trigger Bruno needs to unleash his killer passes.
Finally, Section 5, the offensive network, demystifying the science of connection.
Okay, so we've heard the media narratives, we've looked at the basic stats, and we've even heard straight from the players. Now, let's get a little academic for a second and demystify the actual science here. There's this absolutely fascinating study from Dialnet that analyzed the Portuguese national team's interactions during the 2016 European Championship. But to really grasp what the study found, we first need to define a term sports scientists use a lot: degree centrality. In plain English, this just measures the level of connection a player has with their teammates. It calculates a player's overall contribution to the team's ball possession and their offensive network. Basically, it objectively tells us who the real hub of the team is.
So the researchers observed 118 collective offensive actions that ended in a shot, and they mapped out 488 total intra-team passing interactions. And guess what they found? Out of all that data, the absolute highest level of interaction on the entire pitch right before a shot was between the number 10 midfielder and the number 7 forward. They connected 11 times in these crucial shot-creating sequences. Science literally proves that the playmaker to striker pipeline, which are the exact roles Bruno and Ronaldo play, is the structural backbone of Portugal's attacking threat.
Furthermore, the study revealed just how highly strategic this network really is. If you break it down, during the group phase, Portugal averaged 97.3 passes preceding their shots. But then, in the knockout phase, when they were up against much tougher opponents, that number plummeted to exactly 49 passes. The team dynamically adapted to their rivals. This totally proves that the connections between the midfield and the attack aren't just some random or chaotic accident. They're actually part of a highly calculated, highly adaptable system.
So after digging through the tactics, the milestones, and the underlying network science, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Does a playmaker truly peak only when they stop trying to be the striker? Think about it. Bruno Fernandes evolved his game, willingly sacrificing his own goal tally to chase incredible assist records, precisely because he had an elite forward like Cristiano Ronaldo making the perfect runs ahead of him. The Portuguese paradox might not actually be a clash at all. It might just be the ultimate sacrifice required to build a truly historic partnership. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I hope it completely changes how you watch these masters at work next time they take the pitch.